western black rhinoceros, or West African black rhinoceros, was declared extinct in 2011 by the IUCN. It was once widespread through the savanna of sub-Saharan Africa, but its numbers declined due to poaching and hunting for its horn, which can be sold at a high price. It could be used in Chinese medicine and also used to make ceremonial knife handles called jambaya. There was a 96% population decline in the species between 1970 and 1992 due to widespread poaching and trophy hunting, and by 1995 there were only 2,500 left in the wild. In 2011, the western black rhinos were officially declared extinct after a 5-year search from a sighting made in 2006 in Cameroon's northern province. The Javan tiger is an extinct tiger population that lived on the Indonesian island of Java until the mid-1970s and was one of the 3 tiger populations limited to the Sunda Islands. It was smaller than other subspecies of the Asian mainland, but larger than the Bali tiger and of similar size to the Sumatran tiger. By 1940, the tigers had retreated to remote mountain and forested areas, and in 1976, the last report of seeing these animals would be made. Although alleged sightings have been made, the latest being on August 25, 2015, when a wildlife ranger working in Ujung Kulon National Park took a photograph of the alleged Javan tiger feeding on a bull, but tiger experts identified the animal as the Javan leopard. The passenger pigeon, or wild pigeon, is an extinct species of pigeon that was native to North America. Its common name being derived from the French word passager, meaning passing by, due to its migration habits. The pigeon migrated in enormous flocks, constantly searching for food, shelter and breeding grounds, and was once the most abundant bird in North America, numbering between 3 and 5 billion. These birds were hunted by Native Americans, but hunting intensified after the arrival of the Europeans, particularly in the 19th century, as their meat was commercialised as cheap food. A slow decline of the species occurred between 1800 and 1870, followed by a rapid decline between 1870 and 1890. The last confirmed wild bird is thought to have been shot down in 1901, with the last supposed passenger pigeon, Martha, dying in captivity at the Cincinnati Zoo on September 1st, 1914. The quagga is an extinct subspecies of the plain zebra that lived in South Africa until the 19th century. It was long thought to be a distinct species, but genetic studies have shown it to be the southernmost subspecies of plain zebra. The zebra was believed to have been 257 centimetres long and 125 centimetres tall at the shoulder. The quagga is distinguished from other zebras by its limited pattern of primarily brown and white stripes, mainly on the front part of its body, with a brown rear that has no stripes, therefore making it appear more horse-like. Not much is known about the animal's behaviour, but it is thought to have been a very docile creature that lived in herds of 30 to 50 individuals. Only one quagga was ever photographed alive, with only 23 skins preserved to this day. After the Dutch settlement of South Africa began, the quagga was heavily hunted, and while some were taken into zoos in Europe, breeding programs are all unsuccessful. The last known wild population were extinct by 1878, with the last captive specimen dying in Amsterdam on the 12th of August 1883. The Caribbean monk seal, West Indian seal or sea wolf was a species of seal native to the Caribbean and is now believed to be extinct. Their main predators were sharks and humans. Overhunting the seals for oil and overfishing their food sources are the established reason for the seal's extinction. The last confirmed sighting of the animal was in 1952 at Serenilla Bank between Jamaica and Nicaragua. In 2008, the species was officially declared extinct in the United States after an exhausting 5-year search conducted by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the National Marine Fisheries Services. Caribbean monk seals are closely related to the Hawaiian monk seals and Mediterranean monk seals, both of which are now considered an endangered species. The golden toad was a small toad that was once abundant in a small high-altitude region about 4 square kilometres in an area north of the city of Monte Verde in Costa Rica. It was native to the elfin cloud forest. Also known as the Monte Verde toad, Alajuela toad and orange toad, it is commonly considered the poster child for the amphibian decline crisis. This toad was first described in 1966 by herpetologist J. Savage, with the last sighting of a single male golden toad on the 1st of May 1989. The species has since been classified as extinct by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or the IUCN. The Pinta Island tortoise is also known as the Pinta giant tortoise, Abagadon Island tortoise, or Abagadon Island giant tortoise. They are a species of the Galapagos tortoises that were native to Ecuador's Pinta Island and are thought to be extinct. The species was described by Albert Gunther in 1877 after specimens arrived in London. By the end of the 19th century, most of the Pinta Island tortoises had been wiped out due to hunting, and by the mid-20th century they were considered extinct. That was until a single male was discovered on the island in 1971. Efforts were made to mate the male named Lonesome George with other species, but no viable eggs were produced. Lonesome George died on the 24th of June 2012, and the species is believed to have become extinct with his death. The species is now classed as extinct on the IUCN Red List. However, in the late 2012, 17 first-generation hybrids were reported to have been found at Wolf Volcano on Isabella Island during a trip by Yale University researchers, and as these specimens were juvenile, their parents may still be alive. The thylacine was the largest known carnivorous marsupial of modern times. It is commonly known as the Tasmanian tiger due to the stripes on its lower back, or the Tasmanian wolf. Native to continental Australia, Tasmania and New Guinea, it is thought to have become extinct in the 20th century. Evidence suggests it was a shy nocturnal creature with the general appearance of a medium to large sized dog, except for its stiff tail and abdominal pouch similar to that of a kangaroo's. The thylacine became very rare or extinct in Australia before British settlement of the continent, but survived in Tasmania. Its extinction was caused by hunting, disease and the introduction of nowadays dogs. But despite its official classification as extinction, sightings are still reported to this day, but none have ever been confirmed. The Pyrenean ibex, Spanish common name Becado, was one of the 4 subspecies of Spanish ibex, or Iberian wild goat, a species endemic to the Iberian Peninsula. The Pyrenean ibex were most commonly found in the Cantabrian Mountains, southern France and the northern Pyrenees. In January 2000, the species became extinct with the death of the last individual, a female called Celia, who was unfortunately struck by a falling tree. It has since become a primary mission of scientists to attempt to bring certain species back from extinction, and in 2003, after several failed attempts to revive the subspecies through cloning, a living specimen was born. However, it died shortly after due to a lung defect. The great auk is a species of flightless alkid that became extinct in the mid-19th century. It is unrelated to the birds now known as penguins, which were discovered later and named to their physical resemblance to the great auk. It bred on rocky isolated islands with easy access to the ocean and a plentiful food supply. When not breeding, they spent their time foraging in the waters of the North Atlantic, ranging as far as south and northern Spain and along the coastlines of Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Norway, the Faroe Islands, Ireland and Great Britain. It had a black back and a white belly, with a black beak that was heavy and hooked. Their wings were short at only 15 centimetres long, and on the 3rd of June 1844, the last 2 confirmed specimens were killed off the coast of Iceland.